The first location on my list for the best drone spots in Miami is South Point Park. South Point Park is located at the southern end of South Beach, which is a neighborhood in Miami Beach, which is a separate city from the city of Miami. It's super easy to get to. There's a lot of parking around there. Just make sure you're paying for parking because they do like to tow. Make sure to look for the signs too, because sometimes, I think in the mornings before 9 o'clock, parking is free there at South Point Park. Aviation environment, pretty easy. You do have to watch for low flying aircraft. There are cruise ships that do come through here, which makes for some pretty epic shots. There is a US Coast Guard base that is nearby, so that area in the immediate vicinity is a no-fly zone. And then, of course, water is a major hazard because it's Miami. The scenery here, you're gonna get pretty much everything that you want with a Miami aerial shot. You're gonna get the water, the high-rise condos, you're gonna get the beaches, you're gonna get cruise ships, the sunsets, all the views that people associate with Miami and Miami Beach are gonna be here. So overall, I give this a 5-star rating. Quintessential Miami views, you can't go wrong here. What's good people? My name's Masakela. I create branding assets and cinematic content for aviation, automotive, and destinations brands. I hold a Part 107 remote pilot license, which basically means that I'm a drone pilot. And I use the photos and videos that I capture to help enhance the branding and the visual identity of organizations so that they can optimize their outward brand perception. And I mean, there are a lot of drone pilots that are out there, but many of them just really don't know where to go when they visit a new city. So a lot of them, you know, they might get a hotel in a suburban area and they'll throw their drone up in the sky and spin around for circles like everybody did as a first-time drone pilot. They'll snap a quick photo of a car somewhere in the distance, land the drone, you know, put it away, and then they'll never talk about the event again. I wanted to at least give pilots some of my go-to spots that give me extraordinary images time and time again. Number 2 on the list is Bayfront Park. Also, I'm gonna include in here Maurice Ferré Park. You're pretty much gonna get the same vantage point regardless of which one you choose, but because they're so close to each other, I'm including them as one location on this list. Ease of access, very easy. A lot of people that are gonna stay downtown, or if you're gonna go to a Heat game or something like that, you can easily access both of these parks. If you're driving, easy enough to find parking in one of the lots. Just make sure you're paying for parking because they do ticket very heavily in the downtown area. Aviation environment, you're going to be within Class B airspace here, so you're going to need LANS approval. You're going to watch out for water, obviously, if you're on the bay. A lot of people like to get the low sweeping view coming into Miami across the water, so just be cognizant of that. Skyscrapers are there. You may see some helicopters in the area. Other drone pilots may be there. And there are a couple of no-fly zones in the general vicinity. I think there's a federal courthouse as well as a jail downtown, so be wary of that. This is going to be great for any downtown views and of Port Miami, Freedom Tower, the Kaseya Center, the Intercontinental, a lot of the high-rise condos that are right there in downtown. Overall, I give it 4 stars because while the images are nice, it's not going to be iconic until that signature bridge is completed. So once that's done, we're going to start seeing some really nice shots of Miami. I've gone through 2 of the 8 locations already. Just as a recap for the rubric, each of the locations, I'm going to discuss 3 major points. So the ease of access is pretty cut and dry. It's how much work does it really take for you to get to said place. The aviation environment, so there's a lot that goes into what that really means. Miami is largely governed by Class B airspace due to MIA. So you're going to need LANS approval to be able to fly in those areas. Making sure that you're aware of other aircraft in the area, helicopters, seaplanes, banner planes, other drones, no-fly zones, some TFRs that are in place, prohibited and restricted airspace, Coast Guard areas. President comes down frequently, so there are some presidential TFRs that are in place, as well as geomagnetic interference near the buildings. So there's a lot of concrete and metal that can really interfere with the internals of drones. Another underrated weather impact indirectly is the wind in between the buildings. It creates a bit of a wind tunnel, and you can quickly lose control of your drone if it gets caught up in one of the gusts in between the buildings. That all goes into the aviation environment. Finally, it's just the scenery, what you expect to see at the location and what you're actually looking for. So this is super subjective. And then after that, I'll compile it all into an overall score of what I think about each of these locations. Let's get back to the list. Number 3 is Herald Plaza. Right now, ease of access is easy, but the property is always in discussions about getting sold to a developer. And we talked about a casino at one point, a hotel, and Miami is always under development. Aviation environment, you're looking at Class B airspace again. There is a Metro Mover track that's immediately above you, so be wary of that when you're bringing the drone in or taking off. The signature bridge construction is taking place just to the south and west of this location, so be wary of construction equipment. There are skyscrapers that are nearby, water, of course, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy to get around here. It's a great launch point for downtown, and so the scenery is going to be similar to what you'd find at Bayfront Park. You get a little bit of a different angle, but you can see a little further to the north. So the Edgewater, district, as well as the Venetian Island. So it's a great jumping off point from there. Overall, I say give it 4 stars. It's similar to Bayfront Park, but the signature bridge is still not completed. So once that's done, which who knows how long that'll take at this point, but once that's done, this will be another great location for you to get some really cool images. All right, on to number 4, Jose Marti Park. Ease of access, I give this a medium. It requires a little bit of navigation. It's not as cut and dry as just kind of walking around downtown or Brickell. I like it that way. So you get some more unique images because it's a little trickier to get to. Aviation environment here, I would say that this is probably the most challenging of any of the locations on this list. You have your Class B airspace again. You don't really have to worry about other aircraft unless someone else is flying a drone there, but you do have a lot of buildings there. You have the water there on the Miami River. You have low bridges. There's the I-95 overpass that goes immediately over your head. You've got a lot of boats that come here. So if you're looking for a place to capture a lot of boat traffic, this is a great place, but be wary of all this other stuff going on. Geomagnetic interference for sure. There are 2 drawbridges, 2 to 3 drawbridges nearby. So be wary of them opening up. And then the park can just be super busy at times. So it's a lot going on. It can be pretty loud because of all the traffic and the people that are nearby, especially close to twilight and sunset. You get some really pretty shots of the Miami and the Brickell skyline and of the boats on the water. Overall, 4.5 stars, great viewpoint, but there are a lot of hazards here. Number 5 is Hallover Park, in between Ball Harbor and Sunny Isles Beach. It's a beautiful public park with a lot of green space for you to fly your drone. Actually, one of the places that I learned how to fly or practice to fly was here at Hallover. It's super easy to access. It's right on Florida State Road A1A, Collins Avenue. The aviation environment, I'd say it's easy to medium, kind of depending on where you are. There are high voltage power lines that run the length of Collins Avenue. So if you're looking to cross over from the bay to the ocean side, be wary of those power lines. Apart from that, there are helicopters that come through every so often. There are a lot of boats that they're on the water. So if you're trying to fly low and across the water, be wary of those boats. You can get really nice shots here, sunrise or sunset, even in midday. As long as you've got enough light, it's a really nice spot. Overall, 5 stars, one of the best locations in Miami. Just make sure you watch the skies. Before I finish the final 3, I know that a lot of people that visit Miami tend to keep to a few areas. There's Brickell, downtown, Wynwood, and Miami Beach. But if you find yourself coming back more frequently, you're looking to move here, or you just want to explore a little bit more, I've put together a full Miami driver's guide to make navigating the metro a little bit easier. It covers the major highways and the more popular neighborhoods in the Miami area, along with the drive times to major points of interest, tips for the best times to be on the road, parking analysis, weather impacts, and how to navigate the alternative transportation options if you're feeling adventurous. The link for the Miami driver's guide is in the description. But let's get back to the list. Number 6 is Hobie Island Beach Park / the Miami Marine Stadium. These two are not too far from each other. Ease of access, very easy, but there is a toll to pay to access the Rickenbacker Causeway. For the aviation environment, super easy. There are beautiful wide open spaces, not a lot of aviation traffic. The scenery, it's probably the best view of the Miami skyline, to be honest, especially during sunrise. You get that light coming off of Key Biscayne right there on those skyscrapers. So it's probably one of the more iconic locations for getting the Miami skyline on this list. Overall, this is a 5-star location, lots of space, beautiful vantage point, and that stadium, the old concrete stadium, is a really cool piece too. All right, number 7 is a bit of a curveball. It's Sewell Park, and a lot of people that live in Miami don't even know about Sewell Park, but that's all right. That's why you're watching this list, right? Ease of access, kind of medium. It's an easy drive, but it's off the beaten path. Aviation environment is medium. It's within Class B airspace. You do have a limited ceiling. I think it's 200 feet AGL is the max altitude here. There is water here. There's a drawbridge up 17th Avenue, and it's adjacent to that no-fly zone I referenced earlier for the Jackson Memorial Hospital. Scenery, You get a distant city view, which is a cool like establishing shot. So it's a nice distant view, as well as Lone Depot Park and the Dolphin Expressway. So it's a nice varied shot for those that are looking for something a bit more cinematic. Overall, I give this 3.5 stars. It's great for establishing shots, something a little bit different, a nice river view, but it lacks the depth of a lot of the other locations on this particular list. Finally, number 8 is Brickell at the Miami River. Ease of access, medium. You usually have to walk to find a decent launch point. The aviation environment can be challenging. There are, like I mentioned, limited clear launch locations. Class B airspace, once again, huge skyscrapers, and geomagnetic interference can be a real issue here just because of the sheer number and the sheer height of some of these buildings. Multiple drawbridges, wind tunnel effect can be an issue here because of the narrow spacing in between some of the buildings. And then of course, water, you're in Miami. The scenery though, amazing for those city and river views. It's really, really iconic shots of the drawbridge, of being in the city, if you will. And I think that's why I give it 4 stars. Great in the city vibe and a super urban vibe, but there are a lot of hazards here. And that's my list of the top 8 drone spots in Miami. I utilize so many more locations, but these are the ones that I can reliably get good shots time and time again. If I were to pick the top 3 off this list, my favorites would be Brickell by the Miami River, the last one, number 8. Terrell Plaza, I think that was number 3 on this list. Oh, at Haulover. Haulover is reliably good, and you get a lot of space, and you can fly really fast and fly pretty far, keeping line of sight, and it's a really a good time. If you like this type of content, let me know in the comment section. If you found this video interesting, feel free to subscribe. Really appreciate it. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.